Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Star Wars The Black Series from The Mandalorian, Magistrate Greef Karga. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here on the top, we've got a hook. We've got some tape. Got a nice little window there to let some light in from the top. On the front, Star Wars The Black Series. Nice big window that showcases the figure and his one accessory. And then it goes around to this side. We've got this stripe here. And it says Star Wars The Mandalorian. It goes around to the side, upwards at an angle, and then around to the back as well. Also on this side, it says Star Wars The Black Series, and that covers that. On the bottom of the front here, Magistrate Greef Karga, and there are the assortment numbers if you need those. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. 4 and up Hasbro print. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, main China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, we've got some nice artwork of Magistrate Greef Karga here. And it's repeated right here, only it's a closer in shot, zoomed in, if you will. Star Wars The Black Series, Magistrate Greef Karga. Once an expediter for the Bounty Hunters Guild, Greef Karga ran the trade on Navarro. Now Magistrate of Navarro, Greef is cleaning up that rough and tumble world. And then there it is again in some other languages I don't read. He's number 24 in Star Wars The Mandalorian. Attention, especially don't stick things in your French pie hole that do not belong there. Includes figure and accessory. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any other language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Small, fine, legalese, made China print, Disney print, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's look at the figure and his accessory. And there I knocked the figure over, so let's see if I can stand him back up. Maybe. There he goes. Alright, let's take a look at his only accessory, which is his blaster. And I do say it does have some nice molded details to it. It looks very Star Wars-ish. And kind of cool. Cool and suave at the same time. So, let's take a look at the figure now. And I have to say, that is a pretty good likeness of Carl Weathers as Greef Karga. The paint is, while I won't say it's the greatest in the beard, it's not bad. And it does help give that overall Greef Karga look to the figure. So, I'm not at all upset over that sculpt. And we've got some paint for the hair, unless it's a separate piece. Doesn't look like it is. So, then looking at the rest of the face, like the eyes and the eyebrows. And I think this sculpt is really, really good. Not quite as good as the Count Dooku, but possibly a close second. So he does have this big overlay, and it's flexible somewhat. I wouldn't say this is probably the easiest thing to get off. You probably have to pop the head off to do that, but let's take a look at it. So it's got a little paint amp here on these lines, and that's on the back side too. Got paint amps here for the clasps, and then the piece that goes across his chest. So I think, you know, it's like this in the box, but I think it's actually supposed to be out more like this. This is supposed to be straight across, I think. So as far as the outside of the overlay, that's it. Got some nice molded details here. On the inside, it's this color. So that's not bad. Got a paint app here for his belt buckle, it looks like, and that's it. He's got a holster here for his gun. And I will say there's some nice detail texturally in his pants, or on his pants there. And then for the boots as well, there's some textured detail there in the shirt and in the vest piece as well. Probably not much paint stuff going on the backside, seeing as how it's all covered up there. So let's take a look at his articulation. And the neck's on a ball joint at the bottom, and then a dumbbell in the top for the head. So he can look up that high. Oh, Mando, are you coming back yet? He can look down that far. Get out of here, you stinking Jawas. And he's got some chicken neck. He got waggle, waggle, waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulders, there might be a butterfly in there. It's hard to tell. So his arm will move back that far, and moves forward that far. I don't think there's a butterfly in there, though. I think it's just from it being loose. So now he can rotate his arm around full 360 degrees. You do have to move his arm out so that it avoids the sleeve there. He can raise his arm up that high. That's actually as high as the joint goes, but you can see doing that does put the overlay out of position. Single hinge and swivel at the elbow, swivels around 360 degrees and gives you a little bit better than 90 degrees worth of bend. Trigger finger hand rotates 360 degrees, and it's on an up and down hinge. The other side is up and down hinge as well. Yeah, there's a ball joint or half dumbbell, whatever you want to call it, here at the waist, and that gives him some hula. Allows him to lean back slightly. It allows him to lean forward that far. He can lean to the left and the right a little bit, and it does rotate 360 degrees there. Now let's see at the hips. Okay. That's as far as the joints allow him to do the splits. The lower part of his tunic, it does have splits in it to accommodate the legs, and this seems to be loose enough that it slides up and down the leg when it moves. He can kick forward that far, back about that far, and then there is a cut here at the upper thigh for a full 360 degree rotation. Single hinge and swivel at the knee, swivels around 360 degrees, and it gives you that much bend, just below 90 degrees it looks like. Then at the ankle, tilts down that far, so wow, but that looks odd as all get out. And then up that far, and again, lots of range, but it looks odd. So as far as his gun goes, he can hold it in his hand, or it's supposed to go in the holster. Let's see. There we go. Goes in the holster. Don't be trying no quick draw with that, Greef. So there you have it, my friends. a look at Magistrate Greef Karga and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have Star Wars, the Black Series, The Mandalorian, Magistrate Greef Karga, with the Star Wars, the Black Series Credit Collection Greef Karga, and Star Wars, the Black Series Credit Collection Quill. I have spoken. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Star Wars, the Black Series, The Mandalorian, Magistrate Greef Karga, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars, the Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on Star Wars, the Black Series, The Mandalorian, Magistrate Greef Karga, I have to say the likeness between the sculpt and the paint, I really think the likeness is almost spot on to Carl Weathers. Almost. Not 100%. Like maybe 92% there. And as far as likenesses in the Black Series go, I think this one is a close number 2 to Count Dooku, who I think is the best, most accurate Black Series figure. I really think he's the one that, you know, he looks the closest to the actor, which in this case would be Christopher Lee. And so, you know, they got really, really close with this version of Greef Karga, and I hope they go on to do the version of him from Season 3, which, you know, was Season 3 was his final appearance as the character, because he passed not too long after that aired. I want to say it was not long after it aired that Carl Weathers passed. And, you know, rest in power, Carl Weathers. We miss you, Action Jackson and Greef Karga. But as far as this figure goes, I think it's a good addition to, you know, if you're collecting Disney Plus stuff or you're just collecting Mandalorian stuff out of the Black Series. I think this is a really good addition to that, and it's a good addition to that subline as well. The big cape overlay, of course, is something to be desired. It's not it looks okay, it looks nice, but it's just in the way too much. Really, really in the way, and in that fact, I don't like it. But it looks okay. I like his blaster, it's really cool looking. And, you know, the texture in some of the fabrics, well, what's supposed to be fabrics, you know, the textures on this figure I think are really, really good. And I think for the most part they did a really, really good job on this figure. Just, I wish they could have figured out something else to do instead of that plastic overlay of the cape. I wish there was some way that they could have made it look really, really good and done it in soft goods, but alas, Hasbro doesn't do soft goods very well. So I picked this guy up at Ollie's for $10. I originally was going to pass on him, thinking I'll wait till they do the Season 3 version. But, you know, for $10, I couldn't pass this one up. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.